What's going down, good people? I'm Valet Delroy. This is Ride with the Valet. Tonight, I just want to come and drop a few words. I've been having this conversation a couple times this week, although I've been thinking about it for a little while. So let me just get right to it and drop this on you. You can take what's in your mind, turn it into something that's valuable, tangible, something that you can put to use that'll benefit you and those who you love, anybody for that matter. All you have to do is believe, be willing, and get to work. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, you know what I'm saying, comment, all that good stuff, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to keep this thing moving and grow it, and hopefully have it share with more people who can then benefit from conversations like this. So you're frustrated, yeah? It seems that you're pretty frustrated, okay? And I don't really want to diminish, you know what I'm saying, your feelings and what you're going through, your situation, the relationship that you have, the ideas that you're trying to work out and bring to fruition, the thing that you're working on, the business that you're working on, because life is hard and things do get frustrating, okay? Things do get frustrating. But why are you so frustrated? That's the real question. Why are you so frustrated? So I want to talk about this frustration tonight and hopefully just provide my personal opinion on this perspective that may help you or somebody out there, like it helped me, to find my way back to fulfillment, back to, you know, peacefulness, and back to not being frustrated, having something that allows me to always kind of bring myself back to center when I feel like I'm starting to be frustrated or I'm having feelings of frustration. But I'll get into that. It's already 2 minutes, so it's been a long time. I'm sorry. I think when we're frustrated, it's because we're too focused on ourselves. I'm just going to say it like that. You might be frustrated because you are just too focused on yourself. And I don't mean in a way to where, oh, I should be focused on myself, focus on my self-improvement, focus on the things that I got to do. No, you're frustrated because there's a selfish tendency that we as people have to elevate our value and our influence. You're frustrated because you don't have the influence that you want. You're frustrated because you're not as influential as you feel you should be. You're frustrated because you feel like your value is not being appreciated or taken advantage of, which in turn can make us feel less valued, okay? And that brings frustration. But let me just tell you that, like I had to tell myself, I wasn't frustrated because of the other person. I wasn't frustrated because of the situation. I wasn't frustrated because of the responses. I was frustrated because of how I thought about myself versus the truth of the matter, which is that the same care and intention and work that I'm doing and value that I'm putting forth, and perspective that I have on how that value should be taken, on how my influence should the impact that my influence should be able to have, was just not happening that way in real life. And every other person or thing or situation or objective that I'm dealing with could have that same vantage point from their end, and that I could be the one, or I could be the cause of frustrating the situation or the business plan or the relationship or something here. I could have been the source of that frustration first. And now I'm reaping the benefit, not the benefit, but I'm reaping what I had sown at some point at time, and it's coming back in the same way. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason. What I am saying, though, is that we think highly of ourselves. If it came down to, let's say I got a business partner and they're doing things, focused on things, running plays that I don't feel is conducive to the business as a whole, to our objective, to things that we talked about and agreed upon. That doesn't mean that they don't see their action as that being the absolute thing that they're doing. And here I am feeling frustrated, being frustrated because no matter how much I'm communicating or talking or watching or seeing or trying to give my input or be hands off, I'm frustrated because it's just not going the way I'd like it to go. I thought that when I spoke, I thought that when I communicated, I thought that when we sat here and went over things together, I thought that him knowing me and me knowing him or she or whatever was enough influence to have us both functioning at an acceptable, what I would deem at an acceptable, for whatever the issue is, that it's acceptable. Now, if it's in a relationship, let's say that I am really bothered by something that you're doing or not doing, for that matter, because my presence in this partnership, this relationship, my value to this relationship, our agreements in this relationship, only begs that you're going to do your part, only begs that you're going to function in this way, only begs that you're going to care enough, right, to do things, to say things, to not do things or say things, or what have you, whether it's cleaning up after yourself, contacting somebody before you're going to be late, or leaving simple notes when things change. You're frustrating me. It's frustrating dealing with somebody who doesn't care. And again, whether it's right now or, in season, out of season, at the end of the day, I believe that my value, I believe that my influence should be greater, or at least great enough, valuable enough, even at the bare minimum, right, to beg the response, to have the other person, the other party, act a certain way, right, like they might say that they should have. But people are people. They're going to do, right? That's on their end. How do I maintain the peace on my end and not allow myself to be frustrated? Okay? And that's because I'm thinking about myself. I'm not, for all we know, you could be going through depression. You could have a breakdown. You could be caught up in something. You could be just off right now. And that makes me frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Not that I don't care. It's not about the care. It's not about one's intention. It's not about the work that I've been putting forth that's not being reciprocated. At the end of the day, it comes down to my value. It comes down to my influence. It comes down to me being focused on you and why you're not making this any easier, right? And rather frustrating me. But let me give a little something. And this has been, we're 10 minutes in, so you know, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you being here. Go ahead and hit the like button, because hopefully what I'm about to drop is gonna help make most sense of this. Okay? To frustrate, right, means to like disturb or to bring low or to like set up, to hinder, right? If I want to frustrate your plans, knowing your plans, knowing what you want, knowing what makes you happy, I have to actively be doing something to hinder that happiness, hinder that plan from falling through. Let's say you want to save $100, and I don't want you to really, what you need $100 for, right? Which would seem, don't make, I'm just saying whatever, you know what I mean? Because people, get into it over money. What if I don't think you need to be holding on to too much money at a time? I might, hey, let me get a little bit now. I'm actively doing this to hinder you, to frustrate your plan. The problem is that a lot of times when things aren't working out the way that we want, we think other people are actively trying to frustrate us, trying to frustrate our plan, trying to frustrate our peace, trying to frustrate our life, trying to frustrate our ability to actively get the job done or cope. And at the end of the day, that people aren't always looking to frustrate you at your job. You should be making more. You don't make enough to put up with this kind of stuff because your influence and value is just too important, even though if you weren't there, somebody else would do the same thing you're doing. Sometimes we look at our value and our influence and think that it should be greater than what it is. And when it's not, we're frustrated, or we see it as the universe, the world, a coworker, our situation, the business, the song we're trying to write or record, or the art that we're trying to put together, or the craft that we're trying to construct is trying to frustrate us. It's starting to frustrate us. It's frustrating us. It's not that we're just frustrated. It's not that we just feel hindered. We feel low. That we feel like, something's actively against us. We literally put the frustration, the source of frustration, into another person and turn it back on us because we're so focused on ourselves. Because we're so focused on ourselves, we're frustrated. We have too much control of the situation, too much control of what's going on, too much control to be humble enough to maybe think that we should be managing ourselves different in this situation, in this relationship, on our job, with what we're doing. We don't have the humility to think, I need to be a little more creative. How can I become a better influence? How can I raise my value? How can I be a better agent of change in this moment, in this time, over this next week, right? From here on out, seeking to find a better solution, a better way, you know what I'm saying, to do things. And I know that's hard because most of us, knowing that we're capable, knowing we're smart, knowing we have vision, right? Knowing we're valuable, knowing we're influential, right? If not now, at some point, knowing this thing, being aware of this thing, it being a virtual truth, find it hard to deal with when we face opposition. It's not just that we're going through a hard time, it's that somebody is making this a hard time. It's that, this job just obviously isn't for me. That this project obviously isn't worth completing or putting, my all into the way that I started it. That the thing that I want is no longer worth pursuing because now I'm frustrated, or the thing that I've been a part of is no longer worth keeping up because I'm just too frustrated to carry on. And that might be true. That might be the solution because we always feel like there's a time limit on patience when patience has no time limit. We all think that there's a limit to forgiveness when would it be forgiving if there was a limitation to it? I'm not, nothing's concrete. You could take all these as just some opinionated thoughts, but I've been thinking about why, whenever I talk to somebody who seems to be overly frustrated, why are you so frustrated? It might be that someone or something is actively working against you to frustrate your plans. But is it because they actually just have it out for you like that, or could it be something else? Could it be that you're not creative enough, you're unwilling enough, you're too controlling of your own self and situation to try something else, try something new? And if you think you've explored all your options, then I don't know, because humans, though we have limitations, we've done so many great things, and maybe, just maybe, we could take what's in our mind, turn it into something that's valuable, tangible, beneficial for ourselves and others. Yeah? Maybe if we believe, maybe if we're willing, maybe if we start working on it, we'll find our place of peace, our modes of peace, the idea that, hey, you know what, let me take a moment, let me be more creative, let me think if there's another way that I can be a more influential person, a more valuable person to this situation, to this relationship, to my family, to my business, to my job, to my craft. Now is the right time to start thinking about yourself, right? This is how we should be thinking about ourselves. How we can improve, how we can constantly evolve and elevate and move forward, rather than that there's no way we could do that because there's no problem with us. If the problem is that something or someone else is the source of our frustration, and not the fact that maybe we just need to learn to be better agents of value, of influence, because we don't know it all, we don't got it all, and sometimes we need to work on it too. And if I'm saying it to me, then I'll probably say it to you. I'm Valet Delroy. This is Ride with the Valet. I appreciate you being here. I know this is a really long video. I usually don't do long videos like this. But again, I'm trying to grow my YouTube muscle for speaking. I'm not as animated and lively as I might be with my friends and family or when I'm on the phone or something, but I'm working on that, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all being here. Much love to y'all. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. What is the source of frustration? Is it because, we're too focused on ourselves in a selfish way? Is it because other people really are looking to frustrate us? And I'm sure we'll get a lot of responses that sound like that, because that's usually the angle that I take, is that somebody, is the source of my frustration or something, and then I always need to, get brought back to center that, it's not them, because I know how to control myself. So let me find a better way to influence this situation. And if I can do that, if I can be more influential, if I could be more valuable, if I can mold or shape or use my creativity to come up with a way to do that, man, that only gives me more peace and more joy and more value and more influence to the situation. It only grows my muscle, right? So that I can apply and be an asset to every situation, learning how to charge this influence. Gosh, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love. It's Valley Delroy. That's 20 minutes in. Probably the longest video I've ever sat and talked on YouTube for. So, yeah. Proverbs 14 coming up because, you know, it's that day, February 14th. Maybe we'll see what it has to say. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's Valley Delroy, right with the Valet.